So hi everybody. Wow, look at us. We're in Zachariah's house.
It's my house.
It's his house. In case you don't know, this is Zachariah the Witch.
Hi.
I'm Linda the Ghost Hunter. And we have Lauren, the fantastic photographer, helping us out today. And I'm so excited to
Say
have
hi, Lauren.
Hello, Lauren.
Say hi.
Hi.
So anyway, we are excited because I think a lot of you have seen this Cecil episode. And was it scary?
Yeah, I had a lot of people that were like, oh my God, that was the most evidence I've ever seen in a video. Or were you freaked out by the Richard Ramirez room? There's a lot of things that I've kind of watched some of the part that we were in. I didn't want to kind of ruin today's reaction video. So it's definitely haunted. Definitely haunted.
Definitely haunted, and it was, I think, probably some of the most interesting things were the direct responses.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, my favorite thing with you love to stand there
Yeah,
and then have someone come just be your new BFF.
yeah,
That's your thing. You and the connect.
yeah.
Oh, that was kind of funny.
The connects.
We connected.
Yeah.
The connected.
I think that's the other thing too about the video was I kind of felt like a covert psychic. I got to kind of go in there and just feel things out and not have to do my job. I just had to make sure you didn't get any attachments or anything.
And you were a
So,
secret agent.
I was kind of like, yeah, and
Yeah.
then it's funny that they called me the spiritual bodyguard, but that's literally what I was there to do.
Well, I called you the spiritual
Yeah,
bodyguard.
but typically for those watching, I do readings and I do seances and spirit investigations. I've been doing it for over 10 years. So,
And for those of you who have not seen videos of his wonderful seances that are on my YouTube channel, you should definitely look back at those because that's how we met.
yep.
And we intend, by the way, I know I say these things, but I swear we're doing it this year. We are going to do a lot of seances.
Yes.
And we are going to hit a lot of old Hollywood historic places
That'd be so awesome.
and then do some seances there. And really, this year's going to be different. COVID kind of knocked us off for a little bit of a tizzy.
Yeah.
But this year there's going to be a very heavy focus
Definitely.
on changes. So with that said, do we have any questions that need to be answered? Anybody asking us anything?
So far, a lot of greetings.
Okay, well, hi everybody.
Hi.
And as usual, can you hear us? Because, you know, it's us. Yeah, it's
Can you
technology.
hear us? This is a different setup. We're just
Yeah.
trying to make sure it works.
Everything's new to us.
Also, cheers that we did the Cecil and we didn't die.
Yay! From Rats Argos, yes.
From rats, or there was a lot of rats outside.
Mhm.
That was really bad.
That was scary.
Then your window got broken into.
Yeah, then my car got broken into, guys. We'll be behind the scenes. My car got broken into and they did not even take anything. That's what really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least if they need something, take it.
Yeah.
Don't just break into my car to hurt my car.
We have nothing to offer.
Yeah, be about love and peace, man.
Seriously.
If you're gonna be a thief, be about love and peace. All right, shall we start looking at this?
I think so, because there's no questions, right?
There are no questions so
There's just
far,
a lot of
right?
Now,
love.
so far we have a hello from Spain and Germany.
Oh, wow.
Welcome, Spain and Germany.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
then we have somebody saying they're going to the Cecil on Saturday to try and ask the ghosts of Richard some questions. Somebody said they can hear you just fine.
Good.
Okay.
So we have one question. So is the Cecil open to the public now for investigations, or did you get special permission to go inside?
Okay, that's a great question. You are not able to go inside. We were with TFIL.
My neighbor's literally using a blower right now.
That's okay.
Worst timing.
We'll talk about it. There's always something. You gotta
There's always
expect,
something.
You gotta expect it with us. TFIL paid a lot of money to get us in there to this hotel, so no,
Yeah.
it is not open to the public. However, there are security guards there, and I think they can be paid off. So if you have a couple $100, you might be able to sneak
Maybe,
in.
but
Yeah.
we didn't say that or recommend it.
I would never say that, especially on YouTube.
Also,
Never
for
say
the
that.
sake of privacy, there are residents who live on the second and third floor.
Yes.
So please don't harass them if you're going to go check it out. Make sure you contact the proper people and you're respectful of the space. It's just like with an abandoned location.
Yeah.
Don't trash anything. Don't go in there and act like you own the place. We're very ethical in how we do things,
Very much.
and we encourage you to do the same.
And really, if you do get in, which you probably won't, but I mean, you know, the outside, ghosts can speak to you just as much on the outside as they can on the
Yeah.
inside. I mean, ghosts can travel, so.
Yeah, your tours that you've done in Hollywood, Linda has done the ghost tours in Hollywood, and I mean, we're outside of like the Scientology building, And that used to be the location of what?
The Christie Hotel.
The Christie Hotel.
Yeah.
And it's like just constant EVPs, responses on the talking devices that we won't name.
Yes, we no longer give him any credit.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So basically, to answer your question, you probably won't be able to get into the Cecil, but it doesn't mean that if you don't bring equipment there, you won't get information. Because it's a haunted area. I mean, just with the homeless rows around, I mean, you can't be in a worse neighborhood. A lot of people have died outside
Yeah.
there. So it's not just the Cecil that we probably spoke with people, it's also Skid Row.
It's gotten darker too since the onset of the pandemic.
Very much so.
Yeah, which, I mean, we all know why. It's just, there's a lot that ties into that.
Well, the
So.
increase of the homeless in Los Angeles is at an all-time high. And, you know, that makes for a lot of scary things that are happening out there. People, desperate times, desperate measures.
Yep.
And so you just, you know, I don't think you would have a hard time finding ghosts. Let's just say that.
No.
I don't think so at all. Any questions or anything anybody else has for us?
What do you think about Patty's way of communicating with spirits?
I think it's very interesting. You know, I think she's fun. And she gets into it. I mean, she really opens herself up far more than I would, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that she's able to do that.
As a fellow psychic medium and intuitive, I think that her methods are different from mine. Do I think that they work? Yeah. I mean, it was all on camera. So I think Patty knows what she's doing, and she's done it for a long time. So it's kind of same, you know, just different.
I mean, Patty and I have been crossing circles now for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was nice to finally be able to semi-work with her because she's a Hollywood girl, I'm a Hollywood girl. So it was nice we finally, you know, got to semi-work together. That was nice.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
We've crossed circles several times and done events together too.
They've actually
So,
worked together.
We've actually done rituals together, so it's fun. Yeah. She's great. I love her energy and her personality. Totally.
Yeah, and she's a rocker chick, come on.
Totally.
Yeah,
And an actress.
yeah. She does a lot of things.
She does a lot.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Yeah, we do a lot of things too.
We had a comment, someone's window got broken at the end of the video you appeared in. Somebody wrote that.
Yeah, two of our cars got broken into, me
Yeah.
and one of the cameramen, yeah. Yeah, so Skid Row, yeah.
That area right there is on the edge of Skid Row.
Yeah.
I used to live on the street, on Main Street, which is what that is now, up the block at the Huntington building, the Huntington Apartments. And I was luckily on the 4th floor. And sometimes I'd look out my window and I saw somebody get stabbed. So it's not a good area for those of you that are younger that are thinking, oh, I'm just gonna get dropped off and go check out the Cecil. Keep your wits about you and don't do that. Come with a buddy, come with an adult. Make sure people know where you are at all times. And don't leave valuable things in your vehicle if you drive. It's just, it's the way of the city. You know, there's no,
Correct.
we're not judging that part of town. That's just how that part of town has always been.
Well, I will say this, we were supposed to park in a lot, and unfortunately, again, with COVID, we weren't able to get into the lot that we were supposed to get into, and that's why I had to park on the street. It's worth $10 or $15 to park in a lot.
It's expensive to park too.
It is, but
Yeah.
it's worth it because if you come out and you have a broken window, you have to pay the deductible,
Yep,
and you may lose things in your car. So,
absolutely.
you know, these are things that you want to think about. And
Totally.
definitely make sure you're safe. I mean, I brought this guy with me, not only because I wanted him to be on TFIL, because I've been wanting this for a long time, I also needed him. I was scared to go there by myself.
Yeah, we had to carry equipment up a block to the hotel, then we had to stand outside and wait to come in. And this is all behind the scenes stuff that you don't really get to see,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of coordinating, and Elton and his team are very professional.
Very professional.
They produce really good shows, and we're very grateful that we were there. We were able to walk up to the entrance, and within 5 minutes or less, we got inside, because standing outside any longer would not have been safe.
If another rat came by, I was going to run.
Linda kept seeing rats. They're like this big.
They're
in,
huge.
In LA, they're huge.
Woo!
So,
Yeah, no. Give me a ghost. No rats, please. I'll take a ghost
Totally.
anytime.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. Anything else before we begin? Does anybody have?
We'll take 2 more questions and then we're going to start.
Yeah.
We want to
If
watch
you have
this
any
episode.
questions.
We haven't watched it together, so we want to watch it.
Okay, so give us the best of the best.
If there's 3, you can just ask us 3.
Yeah.
Somebody's asked, have you ever had any attachments after doing investigations?
I have, from the Queen Mary, which hint There may be a huge episode of the Queen Mary in my future.
Ah.
I'm not going to say how much show it's going to be on, but you know me and my hints. It did happen to me at the Queen Mary, and I do talk about it there. So I won't let the cat out of the bag here.
When I was first starting years ago, probably when I was about 17 or 18, I did a home investigation for a couple who had the wife kept having miscarriages, and she finally had a baby. And there was some severe demonic, I never used the term demonic, but there was literal demonic activity in their home.
Wow.
And their child actually became severely ill as a newborn. And there was a whole team of us of 5, and half of us had to leave that house because it was so heavy. And when I went home for weeks, I had nightmares. And I had to actually go to one of my mentors and get a cleansing done because I didn't realize how much I had taken on by being open to that environment. But again, I was very new at what I was doing, and I was just trying to help them, but I did not protect myself enough. So
yeah,
I got chills talking about
I know,
that.
I got chills about you talking about it. Yeah. Thanks for sharing the chills. Sharing's caring.
You're welcome.
Yeah. What else you got?
That kind of ties into the next question. How do you guys feel when you go into these kinds of places?
You know, I have this mechanism after I'm done doing these hunts that I go blank. Because if I did not, and I carry this stuff home with me, I don't think I'd ever sleep. I really don't. I have to shut off. And I do that. I get home and I really block most of the things that have happened. And then I watch them and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But it doesn't have the power when you watch them as it does in your memory. And I just don't want to hold these memories of these many ghosts that I've encountered and you've encountered.
Yeah, what was the question again?
How do you guys feel when you go into these kinds of places?
So I feel it depends on the location and who's involved. Linda and I both we're drawn towards helping children and families the most.
Always.
Especially if it's a home paranormal incidents or something that's oppressive. And again, it's not demons, sometimes it's just the energy that's there in the home that they've created. But I usually feel, more often than not, it's kind of like the easiest way to describe how intuition can work for most people is when you open the front door of a home and when you walk in, if you feel like you're walking through water, or if it feels like sound is muffled, or if the air seems very thick, those are usually really good indications that you're dealing with something harmful or negative, or there might just be a lot of stagnant energy that needs to be cleared. I would go into a whole spiel about more detailed stuff, but I don't have time for that. So if you ever want to learn more, contact me.
Contact Zachariah direct. Zachariah.
But I usually feel okay. I don't ever feel, oh God, I can't handle this now. I've been doing this for so long now. It's just, okay, you're here.
I sometimes get overwhelmed. I still get overwhelmed.
Well, that's why I came with you to the
I get overwhelmed. Yes, to answer your question, I still get overwhelmed. I do.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it a really long time.
Yeah.
So when you entered the Cecil, did it have another feel to it as other haunted places you've been to, or was it worse?
Okay, so quick backtrack. Any of you who have watched me before knows that I am a party girl, and I have been in the past. I used to go drinking at the Cecil back in the day, and I never liked being there.
Well, what's back in the day?
Like 80s.
Okay, so the 80s, when I was born.
Thanks. Anyway, I wasn't even born yet, so it's amazing I was there. It was a spiritual experience. Anyway, I would go drinking there, and ultimately, I always got the creeps in that place. I always knew it was haunted. And I didn't particularly like hanging out there, but drinks were $2, guys, $2.
That's crazy.
Yeah, $2, and they were strong. Okay, so when I knew we were going to go back, I always had the same feelings. I never liked that place, never liked anything about it, but I was scared, and I did very little research about it. I did not watch the Netflix show before we went. I did not do any of that. I went in completely open-minded, and I will say, I'd be happy never going inside there again. Yeah. I think that it was a very, very tragic place, and the vibes were very sad,
Yeah, usually before Linda goes on an investigation, and this is like the precursor to what I felt, I knew before we went that it was necessary for me to go with Linda.
Yeah.
Walking into the building, I was very surprised that the lobby felt light.
It did actually.
It probably also helped that visually it had very high ceilings and marble floors. It was beautiful. But there was a different energy when you first entered compared to when you were outside. Even outside, there was it just feels dark. It feels heavy, you know.
I agree. The lobby wasn't heavy.
The lobby wasn't.
But the rooms and the levels.
I hated the elevators. Not just one elevator, all of them. I'm also claustrophobic, but.
No, there was a weird, and the buttons, you would end up on weird floors.
Even using the restroom that was just on this upper balcony area when you first enter, I felt like something followed me from up the stairs all the way over to the bathroom and back. So it really, the energy of that place is just very, it adapts to its environment. And that's kind of going into it what I told Linda. I was like, I don't think that we're dealing with the direct spirit of Richard Ramirez. What I think we're dealing with is an entity or an egregore that is formed by all of the thoughts, feelings, and moments of time that have happened within that building. And now it's become this big force that lives there and feeds off of the energy of people who enter that space, or the spirits of people who have died there. Very similar to what they kind of said in American Horror Story.
Which was supposedly filmed.
Very interesting, right?
Yes.
So,
yes. I mean, the thing is, I would like to do more investigations down there at different hotels.
Yeah.
Because I think we get very similar things, because they may not have the fame of Richard Ramirez, or the poor girl whose name I won't mention that died in an elevator. I think she's gotten way too much attention.
Leave her spirit alone.
Yeah, let's leave her alone. But I think that there have been so many people that have overdosed, so many people that stay down there and kill people.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't draw an A crowd. Let's just say that. You're going to get a scary group of people that stay down there. To this day, the people that stay in the Cecil right now, the homeless people, I'm sure they're not the creme de la creme of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably drug addicts and murderers and bad people.
Yeah.
They probably are. So, yeah, keep that in mind.
There's a lot of that down there.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. All right.
How is the energy in room 1419?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it when we watch. So we're going to start watching
Let's do it.
our experience.
At the Cecil Hotel.
Somebody also asked if you have your own YouTube channel.
I do. Yeah, I thought they tagged me in the video, but
They did.
it should be. I don't think it says Zachariah the Witch, but I think it's / Zachariah Griffin. I don't know why it doesn't change, but
Okay, so look for Zachariah Griffin or Zachariah the Witch, or
if you go to my website, zachariahthewitch.com, there's links at the bottom of the first page that will go to my YouTube. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Richard Ramirez said that was his hotel room.
What made you do it? Did you press before?
What's going on? Yeah, so the SLS is like the old 360 thing, and it's pretty much just the text people. Literally standing by the door right now.
Freaking amazing, guys. I love it. Sorry.
I can't believe I'm at the Cecil Hotel right now. The angle.
Josh is so funny.
I love John. I love all these guys.
Bro, I can't do that. I can't climb that.
I thought he was going to do it.
Fell off.
I'm so glad he did not climb that.
Right over the railing.
Then we have a new ghost, and I like John.
Did you get that?
Yeah. The water tank's right here. The lids and everything. Like, wow. I don't know.
Yes, I'm very afraid of this place. It's right there.
Are you summoning the devil?
I'm going to pause it for a second. Just seeing that when they introduced Linda and I, it's really funny the titles that they put under everybody's names. What did they say in the beginning? They said I had the coolest name ever. And then I was reading some comments the other day, and it kind of made me laugh because somebody said that I was cosplaying as a spiritual bodyguard. You can ask Linda or anybody. I wear all black or all gray all the time. I wear hats all the time. It's just today I'm at home and I'm casual. It's not cosplaying. This is my real life. So
I have seen him, in the years I've known him, I've seen him once wear a pair of jeans that weren't black.
that we're not
That
one time.
Yeah, I mean, he is Mr. Wear Black. And
It was
by the
funny.
way, on the other side of that note, people also said you were one of the sharpest dressers that they've ever seen. So
Thank you.
there was another side to that as well. See,
All right.
Patty wears black too, you can tell.
Patty, yeah, Patty and I have that in common
Yeah.
too. She was also wearing those high boots. Those were cool.
Yeah, no, she's a sharp dresser.
Wait, look, it's. Wait, no, I can't. Look, it's right.
Definitely Patty and I, we have a very different approach to that,
Yeah.
for sure.
I thought this would be an interesting way of splitting us into two groups. I don't think I should have the choice.
It was great to work with Elton, by the way. Elton's my buddy.
It was good. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Love him.
He always has his shirt off.
Just go in the elevators.
Well, if I,
The two.
I mean, that guy's a good guy.
We go.
Team Linda.
Yeah, yay,
Okay.
Team Linda.
Cecil Hotel was built in 1924 and opened for business in 1927, spanning
My house
19
was built in
floors with 600.
Really?
This
Same
house.
year.
Soon
Yeah.
after, the impact
Woo,
of the Great
interesting.
Depression rained upon the Cecil, the surrounding area, and created what is now known as Skid Row. As the infamy of the Cecil grew, the room prices declined, leading it to become a frequent hideout for drug dealers, bank robbers, and other criminals.
I love the way
Hotel
they-
guests
yeah.
are often robbed
This is incredible.
and even killed. But the history of violence at the Cecil does not end there. Richard Ramirez, otherwise known as the Night Stalker, was a serial killer and Satanist, suspected of killing no less than 38 people, but only convicted of 13 murders.
So
He
crazy.
stayed at the hotel for weeks at a time from 1984 to
Truth is, they don't know half the amount of
1985.
people.
They don't know how many people he actually
They don't know.
killed.
They don't know.
Witnesses and hotel staff believe that Richard Ramirez would discard evidence and his blood-covered clothing in the dumpsters of the hotel prior to heading up to his room to shower and go to sleep. There's even a theory that Ramirez had in fact killed a hotel guest in this room. Many believe that the Cecil Hotel itself is haunted, creating the near century-worth of acts, while others believe the evil within the walls has grown as each guest leaves. And that is what we're here to find out at the Cecil Hotel.
So dramatic.
It's the place to start. We'll say that. Yeah.
Feel it in your gut.
I feel it.
You feel like drawn to it?
Yeah,
Why
I
did you
do,
feel
and
drawn
I think
to
the
that?
equipment, of course, will tell us.
Oh,
I don't know.
She's like, I don't know, I just want to do it.
I just said, let's start on that floor. I don't know. And it was a good call.
Josh was like, she means business.
If only, when you got to know me, you would no longer say that, I'm sure.
There's going to be an ad, and so during the ad, we'll take more questions.
You thought Amazon was cheap? Try it with Capital One.
Was there
Yeah.
any other questions?
Somebody was asking where they can watch that.
Okay, so that's on TFIL.
TFIL.
Yes.
And then just type in Cecil after that. But TFIL is their acronym for,
Yes.
what does it stand for?
Guys, basically F word, having fun, generally, is what
Really?
Living the time of their lives is really what it stands for.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it in a G rated because I know I have a lot of people that are
There's
young.
so many commercials on YouTube now, it's weird.
Well, because nobody watches television anymore. Really, I think everybody watches YouTube now, or Netflix.
Is there any other questions?
Well, a few comments.
Okay.
Let's see.
Also, let us know if this is too loud and you can't hear us talking.
Yeah, and we will fast forward to some
And
of
we
this.
can
We're not-
fast forward, we
Yeah.
don't have to watch the whole thing, we'll take more questions from you.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch bits and pieces.
We haven't done this together yet, so,
We haven't seen it together and,
yeah, we've both been busy with work, which is good.
yeah,
Work
it
is good.
Work is good.
We did get a question. How does Zach protect himself from negativity?
How does
Yeah, right.
Zachariah protect himself from negativity?
Good question.
Depends on like where I am and what's going on, but typically it's everything you think you create, everything you speak becomes into existence. So I usually speak words of protection around myself. You have to use an authoritative voice. It's in a lot of spiritual practices where everything that you need is within you. So I don't need crystals, I don't need salt, I don't need oils, I don't need holy water. Those are usually just tangible things that you have to make the person that you're working with feel protected. Because not everybody has the same belief systems or thought systems. But ideally, yeah, I meditate, I'm very spiritually grounded, I take care of myself, I'm sober, So there's a lot of things that I do to try to keep my channels open and clear and not blocked so that I could become harmed, if that makes sense. Yeah.
By the way, I'm not sober, for all of you who have seen my past videos. Yes. I'm sober right now, but I mean, at other times.
Is there anything else, Lauren?
Have you ever gotten hurt physically by a spirit?
Yes. Yep. What was your experience?
Oh, I broke my nose.
What?
Yeah, I got knocked down at the Cat and Fiddle.
Oh my god.
So
the
bad.
Cat and Fiddle was creepy.
Yeah, that's where I started my career.
Before they closed.
Yeah. Somebody pushed me so hard from behind, and I went flat on my face.
Oh my god, I didn't know
I hurt
that.
myself so bad.
Mine was at the Ohio State Reformatory. Alcatraz. A rock, a little pebble, whizzed past my face, but it grazed my cheek and it hit my earlobe.
Oh, wow.
Something threw a pebble at my face.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the only time I actually got hurt. There was maybe one other time when I was younger, and again, I wasn't as experienced. I was being choked in my sleep.
Okay.
And that was terrifying.
I've definitely had that too.
Hasn't happened since, motherfucker.
Yeah. There goes our G-rated.
Sorry.
I never read comments, but somebody wrote, Linda's like the type that apologizes for cussing. And,
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
And would bake cookies. It's like, guys, okay.
I also read stuff like Linda's the best, Linda's so nice.
Oh, I try.
You don't know what she's like off camera.
No, really, I know.
She's awful.
I'm really nice. What is this? Is this like a...
It's an eternal commercial.
It
Ready?
is.
This might sound hard to believe right now.
Okay.
But if you're interested,
So let's see where we're at.
Here's a cabinet to do that, so you can all hold something.
yeah.
But this one has a very heavy feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
See, we talked about the heavy feeling before this started.
Yeah.
This was a heavy room, but we didn't get a lot in this room except for in the closet.
In the closet.
Is there anything
Yeah.
you want to use? I have a ventilator, I have a vent pod, I have...
I mean, I love rain pods.
Okay.
Rain pods are number one. I like spirit boxes second.
By the way, I'm not following Josh's work, but I'm going to because he was so fun to work with.
Josh is also, he seems very respectful of the space
Very
that
much.
he goes to.
Very much. He's very...
And he also doesn't give away where the locations are.
Fluctuate at all?
The reason why some paranormal investigators, myself included, will not always give away the location of a space
Yeah.
is because there's always somebody that ruins it for everybody else. And by that I mean vandalism, stealing things from the property, or even burning the place, or like doing things that are supposed to look satanic. So again, if you're gonna do this kind of stuff, be ethical, think about everybody else that's involved, and keep yourself safe.
And be kind.
And be kind,
Yeah.
seriously.
I mean, I'm always trying to be kind and respectful.
You have something going, if the temperature fluctuates, then we're onto something as well.
Okay.
So let's see what we...
So this is my new REM pod. It broke this thing, by the way. Yeah, my antenna broke.
I thought that was weird it broke that night.
Yeah, that's it. And that was brand new. That was a brand new REM pod.
And it's falling, so it is an electrical, so it doesn't go wrong.
Yeah.
Something is in a 02, 04, guys, 05.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm walking around with the CMS meter to get a balance of the room, because what you want to make sure is that if you have a fluctuation, that it's not electrical. A lot of times rooms, let's say maybe the 02 would be the average,
Yeah,
and then it goes up to 4.0, you go, oh yeah, this is paranormal.
yeah, and it's those decimals that matter. Even if it's a 1, that's a lot.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
you see, I'm noticing right now in the closet that this is going up. This is what draws me to the closet in the first place.
And all of these rooms did have electrical power to them, but the closets don't have wiring. So,
Yes. There was no wiring, nothing, no lights, no anything.
I want to take the rain pod in there.
All right, here's where the fun begins.
Let's do it. I really think that's a smart thing to do, because out here, I'm at a 032, which is much higher than me.
Good than that.
Is this spirit that's in there, would you be a male spirit? If so, can you make the device go higher? It's going down. I assume that you're a female spirit. Is that correct? Going up to 06. Did you ever live here in this hotel?
do you want to fast forward through this?
Yeah,
So, just to note too as commentary, when we entered this room, you can hear Linda say it feels heavy in here. Like I said, I was the covert psychic. I didn't say anything,
yeah.
but I knew that somebody killed himself in that room. And then later the evidence came up, and even Josh said, "Oh my God, did somebody hang themselves in that closet?"
That's exactly
And I was
right.
like, "Duh."
Duh. Well, for those of us who did not know that,
Yeah.
and we eventually got led up to it. So why did I get off that elevator? I don't know. Maybe this person called me
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, Linda."
That was the thing that I noticed too about our team, was that the spirits that got our attention could actually be helped, or they wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the difference, I think, between the two teams there.
And they
Yeah.
wanted us.
They
Every
did want us.
room that we went to-
They're like, "Come over here," you know?
We got called in. You'll see it as it comes up, but every room we went to, there was a reason we went to that room.
Yeah.
And FYI, when we do get to Richard Ramirez's room, which I think is going to be the next segment, I did not know that was Richard Ramirez's room. We got
Yeah.
a 9 in the elevator.
Yep.
And it said 9, and then you were carrying around the voice box
And then it stopped. It said, "Okay."
when we got
Or
to
it
the
said
door.
something about making a choice or choose.
Choose,
And
yeah.
then I was walking, and I didn't even look to the right or left of me, and it said, "Okay." And I looked, and that was the room.
1419.
But we also I don't know anything about the Cecil other than when it was built and its dark history.
Yeah,
So going into it, I wanted to kind of do what they say is going in cold.
yes.
I didn't go to Wikipedia, I didn't try to look anything up,
Yeah,
because I really didn't want to know. Especially after living downtown for years.
plus with Elton, one of my favorite things to
Yeah.
do with Elton is because he's such a non-believer.
Yeah,
I love when things blow his mind. So that blew his mind. Every
Yeah.
time I get my little Elton blow your mind,
Yeah.
I know I've done well.
we literally got pulled into 1419, which is where I just fast forwarded to.
So we're going to be in Richard Ramirez.
Also, just to add to, when I said we entered the lobby and it felt light and airy, and then I said I went to the bathroom and something followed me, I think it also was trying to follow us and pull us to this room.
Yeah.
And it felt big, so you'll see
Man,
why.
I just got the chills again. Will you stop saying these things?
Sorry, I'm just saying,
We're
I can
supposed to be
say
in a
it
safe-
now.
we're supposed to be in a
because
safe zone.
Because I didn't get to say it on camera, so I'm saying it now.
Great, okay, good. I'll just sit here and shiver.
The
We're fine.
360 thing, and it's pretty much just the text people, but it can see what we can't see. So it sees like, see, here you go, an example. So you're gonna be able to see like a ghost walking down the hallway.
When there's no people there.
Yeah, when there's no people there, you'll see the stick figure. It's a really great way to,
It's a cool
find
device.
those.
It's really cool.
Just said stay.
It
Oh,
just says,
sad.
So,
Right. So we're on a good start right now.
we're on a great start.
Really good start.
All right, what direction do you guys feel like we should go? Anybody have a hunch?
That way?
Let's do it. I was thinking
Did you whisper that way?
I did, I said that way.
Okay.
Gas 9. So,
Yes, should we go to?
So here's what we're talking about.
Gas, any 809, yeah. Well, there's a 9 actually right outside the whole closet room. Yeah, you're just out.
should we,
So guess what? 8 plus 1 also equals 9. Should we just chat?
I'm sitting back.
walk in first because you'll be able to
Yeah.
see something before we are.
So, well, what's the odds of it saying 9? I know. Right inside the door. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
So this isn't the Ramirez one. This was another one.
No.
I just got another word said date.
This is where the entity is, though.
Yeah.
They drew us to this space.
Yeah, so you can see it works.
No, that was Ramirez one, wasn't it?
No.
This one?
Is there something in here that should be?
Oh, you're right.
This room has a much lighter feeling, I gotta say, than everyone.
It's funny that you said it was lighter, though, because behind me I was like, no.
Dyslexic.
I'm just looking at the device and I'm like, there's something in here with us.
Well, that's called being dyslexic. I'm allowed to say absolutely everything that
Look at, and there it is.
Look at that.
There it is.
Yeah.
See if you get visual.
Oh my god.
And then it just goes away.
Disappears.
Should we keep the rent pod in the closet too, since we got a little visual?
yeah.
Let's put that in there and see that. Exactly. I think this might, I don't know if this is the room to use a spirit box. I don't think we're the right room to use a spirit box.
Okay, can you pause it just for a second when I say that?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's kind of an interesting thing about when I do my ghost hunting. This is when I use my intuition.
yeah.
I try to save the right room for the right tools
Yep.
and try and figure out what do I need in each room. Instead of taking everything out and making it overwhelming for everybody, I try and stop and think, okay, this isn't the room for the voice box. And
Yeah.
that's why I did not use it. Do we have anything real quick? Any questions?
Not specific to what you're talking
Well,
about.
that's okay.
But how does Zachariah ground himself?
Look at this kind of stuff. It's, again, meditation, taking care of your body, mind, and spirit. Grounding, though, I sometimes will literally take my shoes off and go stand on the grass or touch a tree. Some other ways to ground, you can wear certain stones, you can use certain conductors or rods. I mean, everybody has a different method. Grounding for me, though, especially after a long investigation, means coming back into my body. So I make sure I eat something. I make sure I meditate and clear myself. So that your body is eating, your mind is meditation, and then your spirit is giving gratitude and speaking protection. Body, mind, spirit. So that's how I do it.
Also, when did you become aware that you were able to connect, and was it something you needed to practice with?
I had a near-death experience when I was a child, and ever since then, I just haven't been the same. So I started having dreams that would come to pass, or prophetic dreams, whatever people called them in church. I used to go to church. And then over time, I just started just knowing things. I knew I was gonna get this house. That's the most recent example. There's just a lot of things in my life that have happened. But I also don't want to sound like I'm this all-knowing oracle. I do get things wrong, but they're usually pretty right. So.
He's a witch.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
So.
he is.
Anything else?
Will you guys go to any other places that are as widely known as the Cecil to investigate? If so, what's some places you'd like to visit?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're working on right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas of Los Angeles
Mm-hmm.
that I want to go to, and I don't know if you guys saw the Academy Awards, probably not, but it was shot at Union Station,
Mm-hmm.
another one of my old stomping grounds.
Beautiful location.
I think that'd be a really great place to go investigate.
Yep. We could also eat there
We can eat,
because they have really good food.
they have really good drinks, so we're gonna
Yeah.
do both, yeah. And that'd be fun. We haven't really done a place with a lot of people around and
No.
investigated. That'd be, I think, a really fun outing.
Yeah, that's another interesting way to, because everyone thinks, oh, you have to do investigations at night, or it's got to be completely silent. Sometimes having that static noise and all that movement happening around you keeps the energy high. So it's easier for spirits to come through. That's like even with seances, you want to have more people than less people, because it builds that battery of what spirits are gravitating towards.
Plus, if you're dead, right, and you're by yourself, and you've been by yourself for a long time,
Yep,
and someone's finally paying attention to you,
yep,
you want as many people around you as possible.
Absolutely.
You want a party happening.
yeah.
You do.
That's the other thing too, I think that people treat spirits or those who have passed as if they're this entity that is detached from human emotion. But if they were a person, there's still going to be facets of that person in death as well. So Linda and I will literally communicate with them in ways that say, are you okay?
Yeah.
Or what do you want us to tell us? Or
Yeah.
what's your name? You know, it's not just like, come and talk to me, you a-hole. You know, it's like, whoa.
Like certain shows
Like
that are
certain
on.
shows
Yeah,
we don't talk
that I
about.
would never
Yeah.
talk about, yes.
We're gonna fast forward to the moment when we get to room 1419.
1419,
Do you wanna
yeah.
do that?
Yeah, that's definitely, there are two rooms that I found incredibly amazing.
So there's a lot of wandering here.
We are the wanderers,
We're
yes.
talking about where we are. We're
Yeah.
talking about splitting up. We're talking about.
And I mean, keep in mind, this shoot was long.
They were there for 12 hours.
We were there for 4 or 5 ourselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, this was this was a long night.
Yeah.
I was a little bit, and driving home with a broken window, can I just say, it happened to be very cold that night.
Yep.
Yeah, it was not fun. And driving him home, we were chilled.
Yeah, we were chill.
Yeah.
Is this it? What is this?
I don't know what that is. Is there any questions in the meantime while he's doing that?
Let me try to find
Is it true that sleep paralysis has something to do with spirits?
Correct. Yes.
The other room.
It's
Yes.
gonna do commercials again, so.
Sleep paralysis is definitely, I feel, as a ghost hunter, as an intuitive, yes. 90% of the time it does have to do with the spirit.
Yeah.
I've had it happen to me. Have you had it happen to you?
I have, yeah. Usually it's an out-of-body experience, and I have struggled at times to come back to my body when I was younger. Also, again, it just depends on where you are and what station you're at in life, you know. When I was really depressed, I definitely attracted more heavy things into my life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, that's why I'm sober, that's why I take care of myself, because you gotta stay clear, you know? And if you don't, then you're gonna be really surprised at what comes to you and what tries to mess with you.
Yes.
Especially if you claim to be intuitive or open. Everyone is a little intuitive, it's just to what capacity are you opening yourself up?
I particularly believe that
Yeah.
all children are born intuitive.
Yep, and then they're told not to be.
They're told not
Yeah.
to, and that's why there's so many of you that I have talked to over these years now
Mhm.
about embracing your gift
Yeah.
and not letting anybody take it away from you, but also you have to be safe. And
Yeah.
let me do my usual thing. It wouldn't be a show if I did not say, never, ever, ever use a Ouija board. If you do, you're going to get stuck. Look how he's making that face. You're going to get stuck with us having to come rescue you, and we're in Los Angeles, and we can't go other places to do this. So please, just
I'm not gonna offer my perspective on that, but yeah.
just don't do it.
Linda says don't do it, just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Just
This
say
is
no.
her- This is her channel, we'll just do what she says.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Well, you guys lead the way on the bad. I support it.
Okay, all right.
So this is when we were figuring out where we felt led or what the devices told us to do.
You're gonna know. Changing floors.
Changing floors.
I hate that.
I'm excited. Before we go to room 1419.
1419.
If anyone doesn't know about hotels, there's no 13th floor,
Yes.
which is this floor.
Oh, so that was the other one that
1419
was the
is
line.
where Rich Ramirez stayed. That was his
Yeah,
hotel
the
room,
entity was in 9,
where they
which we
believe
saw.
he stayed
And then
during
this is where the talking device told us to stop in front of
Yeah.
he would
1419.
commit his murder.
Right in front of the door.
Ditch his clothes, go up to his room in this hotel.
By the way, this is edited in. This isn't Elton talking live.
Maybe for
Yeah, Elton was doing the camera the whole time, by the way, for those of you that
Yeah,
thought it
Elton
was,
Kind of from the beginning, so far, we've been
Brandon,
going
not
by
Brandon.
No.
basically
Edward,
what Lewis is
Corey.
saying.
Yeah, Corey, but Corey was not, he was the other
Yeah,
one.
it was Elton recording the whole time on our team.
And what's very interesting about this device is, I'm sure you know this, but this was actually the kids' thing that they used to use for dance, and bowling. It was a game, right, for the PlayStation. And then they realized, actually, I'm sorry, it's for the Xbox. They realized that kids were doing the bowling thing, and all of a sudden there's something standing next to
Yep.
them. Or they were doing dance, and here you have another image of something next to it. Kids were freaking out. So they discontinued these, but they're fantastic for
That's why they just continued them?
Correct.
They're
Yeah.
That's
just
the truth.
basically finding apparitions and
Parents were really getting angry about this because they're like, my kid is freaking out because they're bowling and then they see something standing right next to them. It's a skeletal thing where it actually picks up
It gets your
the
frame.
skeletal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're framed.
wow.
So earlier when we were downstairs and there was something by the closet, it was very tall, you're actually getting its whole image mapped.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's taking up space.
That was
So what would cause, let's say that was an 8-foot or 9-foot, right? Wasn't that the number we were getting?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was like
about
a 9, what would cause there to be a 9-foot being, right?
Well,
There's
it's
no
not
human is
necessarily
that
that he
tall.
was 9 feet. Sometimes, too, this picks up not just the person, but it also picks up energy above them.
Yeah, it's like
It's the auric field.
Yeah, so it's like,
Go higher.
Because they're dead.
right.
Yep.
It's not necessarily.
So they can be bigger than life.
But you can tell.
Yeah, there's some interesting things too about when you no longer have a physical body. Even in physics, the easiest form for energy to take, or an electron or proton, is a sphere. So when you see orbs, when you see little balls of light in a cluster, they're coming together to form a larger sphere, which will then create a shape. But from that shape, there's been electromagnetic imagery that shows it radiates like an aura around it. So it's not just a sphere, it also has like a conical aura that extends from it. So that also might have been part of what we got, was like this energy form, and it looked to be 8 feet tall. So there's some interesting science behind what we do that Linda, as like the tech person, is really trying to focus on, and me as the spiritual person is trying to like see if it adds up or it corroborates with like what we're experiencing.
Correct,
So,
correct. Is there something that you wanted to share with us, Lauren? Is there somebody, anything?
Battery saver.
Oh, we're running out of battery. Okay, we're gonna
yeah, we're gonna
and we'll have enough to fill this out, but we'll probably only got about 10
Okay.
minutes left. Let's do this.
So here's the 1419.
Yeah,
Only on the paper, right here.
Yeah.
1490, they took it off the door.
Yeah.
It's the only one that doesn't.
And the device had just said, okay, in front of it.
Get something on that.
And then it said watch.
And the light's already on, just saying. But, yeah, I don't know, but
1.2, this is the highest outside.
1.2.
1.3 that we've got.
Look at the screen. It looks like someone tried to
Great. 0.6, 0.3. We should probably go to the red line back down too.
This is a Richard
What do you want to see from us?
I want to see if this sound good. You know, I had a very near miss with this guy.
Let's just forward a bit and
Okay.
see if we can get,
Feeling remorse, Zachariah 0.4.
Spirit box?
yeah, spirit box, because
He did.
these questions, here we go.
He did.
Killed.
Killed.
Very, very clear said killed.
Yeah.
Do you
Very
ever
clear.
leave this building? Yes or no?
Sure.
I think it was right around there I felt something come towards me. Yeah, I did. I just said it.
Where do you go, sir?
Oh, no.
Commercials. Oh my god, that's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, there was a lot. I felt like we were in this. It was doing this, like the air was moving, and none of the windows are open, obviously.
No, and
Um,
out of all the rooms, so we got direct answers.
yeah.
We found out things that are very true about Richard Ramirez.
Mhm.
And I did have a close encounter with him back in the day, because of course it's me, and I live right down the street.
There's a plug.
It doesn't have a 3-hole.
Oh, do you need the 3-prong?
We're trying to figure out if we can plug in the computer.
Um,
Guys, this is typical us. Would you expect any less from us?
I don't know.
We may have to just do a sequence to this. where
Because
we-
if we unplug the
Part
one
two.
that's there with the attachment, it's gonna disconnect the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, we can't have that.
Again, old house built in 1924 still doesn't have grounded plugs.
I have one of those as well. Oh, is there one here? No.
No,
No.
there's not.
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna,
Yeah.
when this passes, so please go ahead and ask all your questions after we're done, and we'll do a write-up afterwards.
Okay, so let's just fast forward.
So you thought you were a hero. Do you think you're famous as well?
I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
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 The interesting thing too is it was the same male voice every time.
She said, yeah. Christy, how old are you?
Anything else?
We'll come back to this room. I think we should do just kind of just us talking about this room at some point, because this room was very intense.
Yeah, the name Chrissy too. Chrissy or Christine was the name of Richard Ramirez's girlfriend or fiance while he was in prison before he was executed.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So I found that interesting that that name came forward, because after we did the investigation, I decided to do some research, and I was like, who's Chrissy, who's Christine? And that's when I actually used Wikipedia. And
Wow.
come to find out, this woman was engaged to him and was in love with him because there was this fascination with serial killers. So that was a whole thing.
This is new to me.
She's not dead though, but it still doesn't disclude. It still doesn't mean that the name's not valid for popping up.
Yeah, and there could have been another
You know,
Chrissy. Maybe I had a
yeah.
thing for that name. You know,
Maybe
some
you did.
people date. I date a lot of guys with the same name. You know.
You do?
Yeah, I have. Well, I used to date back in the day.
One of those, I tried to go through the barn, and the whole window was flung open, and I literally climbed up.
Anyway, we are going to pause this due to technical problems.
Yeah, we're gonna lose battery power in a second.
But we will go through some other stuff. Please ask questions.
I do have an attachment that I can get. I would just have to go off camera for a second. I'd rather just do that than let the camera die.
Okay,
Tell
so,
me where it is.
I'll get it. Hold on.
okay, we're going to go off camera. Do you have any, does anybody have any questions for me while this is happening?
Let's see. There is a question. Are constant lucid nightmares connected to spirits, or is it just the mental state?
Both. It could be either. Sometimes we do have spirits around us that are affecting us emotionally in the evening. Other times it could just be where we are emotionally. So that's not a definite answer. But it's, you know, there's no correct to this. Right or wrong answer to that one.
Okay. Another question. Do you think it's possible that some of the negative energy related to TFIL and other creators of videos have the ability to attach or affect you?
Negative energy.
I don't know if I'd say there's negative energy around TFIL. I think that they're very sometimes risky with their approaches, and that's why they have me come, to kind of keep them a little bit more safe. By the way, we're back, guys, just so everybody knows we're back. We're charging. So we will actually go through this Richard Ramirez room, because this room was so intense that I really feel like we need to go through this room. But again, my approach to spirits is not to do what Zachariah just did. We're so serious.
I hope I scared somebody.
You scared me. Good. Are people reacting now? Because we're 5 seconds delayed, so it takes
I don't think there's anything negative around any of the teams.
No, I don't.
I really.
Uh-oh.
I don't think there's anything negative around the teams.
I think they do fine. I think if their approach is their approach, and they bring me in when they really feel like they've gone too far.
Yeah. Also, too, I think when you're working with people who are primarily skeptics and non-believers,
Yeah.
what's gonna attach to them or bother them? You know, there's the power of belief as well.
Yeah.
So I think some of the best ghost hunters and paranormal researchers are non-believers.
Yeah.
They are just completely fascinated by debunking everything, trying to disprove and discredit everything along the way. I mean, one of the most well-known people who existed was James Randi, who just constantly disproved a lot of psychics and intuitives, and I'm okay with that because there are a lot of phonies.
Yeah, there are.
And there's a lot of people who claim to be all-knowing and all-powerful, and it's just like, that is not the human experience.
No, that's not real.
That's not how this works.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Anything going on over there?
What's your opinion on Elton from TFIL opening the box at the final episode?
I didn't watch that, did you?
I wanted nothing to do with that. I was so afraid when we
I
left
didn't
there
watch
what they were going to do. I really was, because after being there, let me just sum this up in very layman's terms.
Yeah.
That place is not a place you want to mess with. There's been some very horrible things that have happened.
Yeah.
And I would never, ever, ever want to do that. But that's what makes Elton Elton. And this is what makes Linda Linda and makes Zachariah Zachariah, is that we all have different approaches.
Elton's a great producer, and he does the kind of content that people want to see. Obviously, someone's asking a question about it, so it must have really gotten somebody's attention.
It definitely does. Elton has no fear. I have fear.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I'm afraid.
I don't really have any input on that because I wasn't there, and I don't like to talk about things that I didn't actually experience.
I think that's his thing, and he's always going to do this, guys. If you watch him, he's always going to do something at the end to scare the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
That's what Elton does. That's his thing.
Dybbuk boxes to me are a little hokey, though. Dibbukim do exist in Jewish belief and Jewish mysticism. You know this, right?
Yeah, I do.
They're spirits or entities that usually live in a home or a contained space. They're created within a family. But as far as these boxes that hold a spirit, I mean, you might as well go back to like the idea of a jinn and being able to grant wishes. It's kind of really, I don't know.
But it's a belief. If you believe there's something in that box,
if you believe
there's going to be something in that box.
I do think that somebody could put cursed objects inside of a box, and then you could buy it on eBay, and then open it, and then it might release it if you read something.
But why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to do that. All right. Anything else? What else we got?
What is your opinion on orbs?
Okay, so I think I've mentioned this a ton.
Yeah, I talked about this earlier too.
I don't like orbs. Very seldom will I ever say that I believe in orbs, because 99.9% of it I think it's dust. Okay, but when I did the Ellen show, if you guys saw that episode, that was not an orb. That was a full body apparition. That was a period. That I would never call that an orb. Now technically it's an orb, but
that had density to it though too. There's again, energy will take the form of a sphere first because it's the easiest form to take, and it's when there's density to it. When it's not just like a flurry of like snow on the screen, when it's one solid thing that moves in an unusual way, that's kind of when an orb is more of that's something to look at. That's something to try to figure out, how did that happen?
Right.
But most orbs on
are dust.
Digital cameras or printed film cameras, you can break it down to either you moved the camera when the flash went off,
Yeah.
or you got a reflection off of something, or it was a solar flare or a lens flare, or it's dust.
Yeah.
Linda also was a professional photographer for years, so she knows what those things look like.
Yeah, and it does
Yeah.
bug me, and it does, it's
Yeah.
not one of my favorite things, this
Yeah.
orbs. What else we got? We got anything?
Do spirits enjoy gamers? This person says, I'm pretty sure I have one in my house, and I think they love my PC and Xbox.
Okay, it might not be necessary. That's such a great question. First of all, what name said this?
The Empire.
The Empire. Thank you so much for, this is a great, great question. Why do I use electronics, people? Because spirits are drawn to them. They are drawn, the more energy you have around you, the more they will be drawn towards you. And I'm not talking paranormal energy, I'm talking actual, you're plugged in. So you got your computer, you got your monitor, you got your headset, you got all this stuff. That's what's drawing them to you. One of the most common paranormal experience that people have is televisions turning off and on, computers turning
Yeah.
off and on, because they feed off the energy. So yes, to answer your question, you're 100% correct.
The Empire also asks, for Zachariah, if I have dreams every night that predict a deja vu that can be the next day or years down the line, is there a spiritual component?
Depends on, I mean, that really depends. I would have to know more information. Again, I do consulting and work with people. You can go to my website. But to answer your question, to not sound like a jerk, I really believe that deja vu is sometimes an overlapping of our existence and our perception of reality. So I don't know if that makes sense. It's just the more you understand how time works, that time actually is a construct and reality is based on our perception. It's kind of like that saying, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, did it really fall or does it make a sound? That's kind of like an easy way of breaking down what your experience is. If you are experiencing it and it is happening, then yes, it's totally real. And it probably does have a spiritual component that you're already aware of, because we don't just exist in our time in this realm or this body at this age. We are all versions of ourselves that we possibly can be existing all at once, which is a lot to think about. But I really think that there will be moments where I think about when I was a kid and I had a very adult, what's perceived as an adult thought. Why did my brain do that? Or why did I go into that kind of mode when I was such a young child? And I think it's because we have access to our older, more mature and higher self at all times. We just aren't aware of how to do it all the time. So I think deja vu is a good inkling that you're experiencing something that needs to be noted, and it's giving you information that you need to maybe avoid a problem or create a solution.
Very interesting.
That's the only way I can explain that.
Okay, for time segment here, I think that, I think you guys should watch this episode.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I really want you to pay attention to is when we're in the Richard Ramirez room, and after what happens when we go down a certain hallway,
Yeah.
the spirits very much drew them to us, because we've answered so many questions. I feel like we've kind of
Yeah.
made this go longer probably than we should have.
Well, how long is it?
57.
Yeah, that's about. So if anybody has any last and finals, let's go ahead and bring those up now. And you know, we're going to do more live shows. I say that, and I don't always do it, but I will this time.
I'll try to make her do it more often.
Please do.
Yeah.
I get sidetracked.
Do you offer mentoring?
Yes, I do.
Willow Witch wanted really
Yeah,
want to know.
on my website there's a tab that says consulting and coaching. It's the first thing under my services that you can find. I also help people by consulting through video calls, figure out spellcraft or things that they might need to develop their own ritual or spell. Yeah, I do a lot, so.
Have you guys ever been scared of your gifts or powers?
Yes. When I was a kid, I was born with the gift as well. And the reason why I became such a geek, for those of you who don't know me, is because I got picked on so badly for having the gift that I was determined to prove that people that have this gift are not crazy, that there is scientific proof that this does exist. And I think I've shown that over and over, unquestionably, that there is a science involved in this.
Yeah.
Ghosts are real, spirits are real, and if you have a gift, never second guess yourself, and
Yeah.
always listen to your intuition.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that too, respect what you have and respect others' privacy, and don't go around trying to read people that aren't asking for it.
Yeah.
I get really offended by psychics or mediums that just approach strangers and, oh, I really have to give you this message, so-and-so is here and they want you to know blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
Interesting.
if somebody's not emotionally available for that message to come through, and then you see them start crying, and
Yeah,
I have to say, after being on a show like that, which I won't name, off on the sidelines in production, the producers go out of their way to convince that person that they weren't offended or upset by it and that it was real. So most of that is phony and it's awful.
yeah.
Have I been intimidated by my gifts? Absolutely, every day. Scared the crap out of me, because I respect it.
Yes.
Like I said, I don't know everything. I am not all-knowing, all-seeing, all-existing. You have to have respect for it.
Well, we're
And-
humans. If
Yeah.
people say, what happens after you die? I go, well, I'll let you know when I get there. We're humans, and we're learning as we go, and those of us that have the gift really have to be very careful, as you said. I really respect what you said, not to
Yeah.
abuse it, and not to use it in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's also, too, if somebody comes to you or I for help, I feel like I've done it especially, and I know you have, if we can't help a person, we just say, we don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
And that's sad, but not every psychic or paranormal researcher or person that you go to that's an expert in their field, no matter what it is, it could even be a therapist or a doctor, always get a second or third opinion, always.
Yes.
That's why when you see a lot of these celebrity psychics or people on TV or the celebrity, anything with celebrity in front of it, you should get a second and third opinion, because most of the time they have great agents, they're very well produced, and they're getting paid a lot of money to be convincing.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there for you to know. Anything else?
Do you guys feel anything now?
Well, I think while we were doing the show, he got me all chilled. I don't know if
Because
that
of
was
the
a
stories.
spirit.
Yeah, the stories.
Or I don't
Yeah.
actually feel anything in this house, but I give this guy credit where credit's due, because you notice I never shoot inside my house because I'm afraid to bring something in.
Yes,
You better cleanse this place after we're done, because
of course.
or somebody yelling outside.
That's my neighbors in
Okay.
their driveway. They talk very loud.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're not ghosts, not ghosts.
maybe it is.
Maybe they are, I don't see them, but they.
Well, thank you everybody for watching.
Wow.
Check out all 4 parts. There are 4 huge, amazing, 12-hour investigation clipped into 4 sections of the TFIL investigation at the Cecil Hotel. And I'll say on camera, thanks Linda for inviting me.
Oh,
It
and
was a
thank you,
blast.
Elton, for having
And thank you,
all of
Elton.
us, and for
Yeah.
bringing me back, and thank you guys for coming and watching.
Mm-hmm.
And please support my friend Zachariah. As you see, he's terrific, and we work together quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And we all need the love, guys. You give me a lot of love, and all I can do is say thank you for that. Really.
Yeah, and then what do you have coming up on the horizon?
Well, I have a couple things I can't discuss at this moment.
Oh yeah,
because-
she might have a TV appearance.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, when I have details, I promise you guys will know when I can release this information. Other than that, in the next 2 weeks, I intend to do a lot of shooting, because I have my very good friend here.
Thank you, Lauren, for
Thank you,
shooting.
Lauren, and
Yeah.
for being here.
For being
And we're gonna be
here.
doing a lot of shooting, and we'll drag this guy out with us.